Fashion with the Made in Kazakhstan label. The leading and aspiring Kazakh fashion industry designers. Fashion Week reviews, the latest trends, and pointers from the stylists. All your news from the world of fashion and beauty on Fashion Guide.
Fashion trends of winter, new jewelry brand, vintage as a way of life, current men's accessories, designers and charity, interior dolls. It is stylish. How to dress in the winter. World Fashion House responds in the most comfortable and interesting way. So, for example, the collection of the Italian brand Etro offers models with original trimmings and patchwork style, combination of different textures and ethnic motifs. Kazakhstan's trendsetters and fashion industry professionals were able to evaluate the fashionable winter trends at a special show.
This is a collection which takes inspiration from traveling. Traveling is part of the DNA of the Etro family and the Etro brand. Specifically, this collection takes inspiration from the central part of Asia.
The culture and traditions of the people of Central Asia are read in all outfits. These are floral prints and a lot of embroidery. In fashion, also colorful vests, boots, and fringe. As for color solutions in the winter season, clothes should be bright. The motto of the creative director of the brand, Kina Etro, to bring joy into life, you need to add a little color to it.
For sure, we see a trend in multicolors and mix and match. And I believe also future trend for the next seasons is still bold colors, mixing inspirations.
The collection is amazing. It is not funny, very elegant. It is in the style of the 80s, very feminine. The color I like is not so bright. It's such a muted tone for a woman's riddle. Very weary mood. A bit exotic, of course, but the main thing is that it gives a mood for life. Comfort and practicality in the winter cold are guaranteed with large down coats. Light but warm. They perfectly match with jeans and with dresses. Down jackets are back. They no longer look so stupid and absurd as it was before. They come back and became like a coat and a very elegant piece of the wardrobe. And if you are a fan of sport chic, you will ideally like quilted jackets, tweed parks, and voluminous coats. Singer Rayhan Mukhlis makes such a choice, for example.
So oversized.
All of the oversized, because I think it will be still in trend. Oversized jackets, bombers, oversized coats.
Oversized palto.
All these trends appear in the men's collection. Coats with floral ornaments, large jackets, woolen jumpers, and pullovers. Must-have of the winter season. Ornaments bring harmony into any image regardless of his mood. The designer Olga Kim thinks so. Already for 13 years, she produces jewelry and accessories. And this year, Olga also presented a brand of jewelry. Now the designer creates refined bracelets and chains of gold and silver, products from pearls and diamonds. The first collection is devoted to the swallow. I chose the swallow because I have a long love affair with her. Very cool symbolism. For me, it's a girl who flies very easily and smoothly between work and home. That is, it is a modern girl who manages everything. In the debut line, decorations in a romantic style predominate, where floral and abstract motifs are present. Light, elegant earrings with precious stones, the one that stylists call universal. Olya's collection personifies femininity, elegance, self-confidence, such as Olga. Therefore, looking at these ornaments, a person will see that Olga has put her soul here. Here we're talking about the level of luxury. This means that in such decorations, you can safely appear at the event with a dress code black tie. In addition, jewelry over time does not lose its value, but on the contrary, it turns into family values. Designer Olga Kim says that she will continue to engage in jewelry and work with precious metals and stones. For her is a new creative stage to which she has grown. The jewelry brand, I think here, I would like it to make more sense. I would like my decorations to be given for some holiday, for some special dates, or just enjoy yourself, but it is this valuable gift. Someone appreciates the stones. I must have also grown up internally and have some internal values. I want to buy something valuable for some holidays. If you prefer an unusual design, then jewelry is for you. Precious products are a classic, a fashion that always remains. Each fashionista in her childhood tried on her mother's outfits and accessories. Certainly, the casket with jewelry drew special attention. It contained family rings, earrings, and brooches. Today, when many of us are already fed up with all sorts of trends, vintage is popular as never before. This category includes authentic things of the age of 20 years. It can be both jewelry and costume jewelry. Vintage jewelry is made of jewelry alloy with galvanic coating. It is based on copper, tin, and antimony. They are hypoallergenic, that is, when in contact with the skin, you will not have allergies. Interest in vintage jewelry began in London in the 60s. Then, thanks to the movement of the hippies, the attitude to second-hand things has changed. There were flea markets and antique shops. Today, such a market is an ideal place for finding rare products. Here you can find vintage jewelry from famous brands or specimens with an interesting history.
Эта брошка, она приурочена испанскому празднику 19 мая.
Here is this brooch. It is dated for the Spanish holiday on May 19th, where the Fair of Craftsmen was held, where all the artisans of the city of Valencia could take out all their products and sell them. Here, artisans with arms raised are depicted. Here above the god of craft, below they're all with their gear.
С поднятыми руками и со своими, это их наверху получается, наверное, скорее всего, бог ремесла. А внизу они все со своими снастями.
Vintage brooches occupy the first place in popularity among collectors. This decoration can be worn on lapels of jackets, dresses, hats, and gloves. Such an accessory will easily act as a buckle, pin, or barrette.
Например, известный политик Мадлен Олбрайт, которая написала книгу.
For example, the famous politician Martin Albright, who wrote a book about brooches, she wore different symbolic brooches for every diplomatic meeting. If she was willing to cooperate with diplomats from other countries, she wore birds, or for example, the sun. If not, she wore some lions.
Либо какое-то солнце. Если нет, то она ничего не... То есть она одевала каких-то львов.
If you are thinking about buying a vintage product, it's important to be attentive to the details. It is important that the decoration is in good condition and marked.
Иногда достаточно одного взгляда и подержать в руке, чтобы понять, что это украшение является...
Sometimes it's enough to take one look and hold the product in your hand to understand that it is genuine. Many vintage decorations are not labeled, but their authenticity can be determined by the weight of the decoration, by the complex design from the back, because all forms are very carefully drawn.
Потому что все формы очень тщательно прорисованы.
Also, there are specialized catalogs where the approximate cost of a product is indicated. There are magazines for a specific brand or for the best specimens of different brands. If you decide to contact the collectors, it is important to find a proven specialist. Vintage jewelry will be in fashion forever. Such an accessory will suit everything from a casual suit to an evening gown. Bijoutier with a history requires special treatment. Therefore, be ready to spend money not only on jewelry, but also on caskets for their storage. Designers create jewelry and accessories not only for women, but the stronger sex is more cautious about this mode of expression. Stylists believe that such fears appear not only from not knowing how to combine accessories and what to wear them with. If a gentleman is categorically against bracelets and chains, he still has many opportunities to diversify his wardrobe. Style specialist Dmitry Ilchuk today will tell you what men can use in the process of creating an image.
У любого мужчины должны быть, безусловно, аксессуары, которые соответствуют его, во-первых.
Any man should have accessories that correspond to his lifestyle, specifics of the job, his position, status, and directly to what he does. The goal of any accessory, besides the fact that it must perform some of its main function, it must always complement the image and make it more harmonious.
Он должен выполнять какую-то основную свою функцию, да. Он непосредственно еще должен всегда дополнять образ и делать его наиболее гармоничным.
From year to year, even the business style is presented with less and less strict requirements. Therefore, today the use of stylish accessories is also welcome in the form of dress code.
Аксессуар может выступать доминирующим таким пятном на контрасте всего.
An accessory can be the dominant spot on the contrast of the entire costume. If we have a contrasting suit, for example, a suit has a red shirt, a blue jacket, then naturally an accessory in the form of a bag should be contrasted with these color combinations. If the costume is more subdued, calm, then we always stick to the similarity.
То мы всегда придерживаемся подобия.
One of the fresh trends is snails and scarves, which are worn in pairs not only with outer clothing. Today, these accessories are chosen for themselves by an increasing number of men, regardless of age and social status. According to the stylist, a scarf or snob is simply obliged to settle in each wardrobe because more universal details have not yet been invented.
Сейчас достаточно модно носить даже шарфы с классическими костюмами, да, если мы выглядим.
Now it's fashionable to wear scarves with a classic suit. If we look officially, then the scarves can be worn under the jacket on the shirt. You can tie it as you like. The main rule in wearing scarves is to tie it up because it is convenient for you. It does not need to be tied neatly in front of the mirror. The scarf is tied negligently.
Нужно завязывать именно аккуратно, стоя перед зеркалом. Его шарф всегда завязывается небрежно.
Moreover, according to the new fashionable rules, with a strict suit, you can also wear a knitted hat. One nuance, it should be a smooth texture. The tendency for knitted things were reflected even on ties. Until now, this is one of the most popular men's accessories after the belt. Today, the proposed models are not limited to classical options. There are a variety of colors, shapes, and materials. And now knitted ties, which have a knitted rough texture, are quite popular. They combine now well with a smooth, soft texture in a classic suit.
С мягкой, гладкой фактурой в классическом костюме. Вязаный галстук, который сейчас достаточно популярен.
Knitted tie, which is now popular, it has a line that can be combined with a classic suit with a white shirt. Such ties can be worn at a business meeting and at the same time look quite formal, and at the same time show such easy democratization.
Официально и в то же время показать такую, легкую демократичность.
Also, stylists recommend paying attention to such an accessory as a neck scarf. The subject became popular just recently. The scarf can be worn with both a classic costume and a casual jacket. Replacing the tie with a handkerchief will not work, but for the style of casual, it is an ideal option. Little things decide everything. Accessories can become an excellent ally of a man. Even adherents of the classical style can find for themselves original details that will successfully emphasize the character of their owner. When fashion is combined with charity, it's beautiful and useful, thanks to the auctions of designer clothes and special fairs which are so popular all over the world. Many lives have been saved. Kazakhstan fashion designers did not stay aloof from charitable activities. So in Astana, the Blago Fashion Project was successfully launched. Its task is to collect creative individuals who can contribute to helping children. The organizers invited 8 domestic brands to participate. It should have been Kazakhstan designers. Collections had to be with elements of national patterns. It should have been famous in their circle designers. We addressed specifically to such people who could draw others for themselves. Participation in the charity show was accepted by both experienced and newly arrived fashion designers. They work in different directions, but this time they were connected by one common goal: helping children. The young designer and participant of the International Beauty Contest, Anna Levitskaya, presented a collection of feminine outfits with national motifs. Anelia Baigaskina presented warm coats and velvet suits and pajamas. Fashion designer Rahida Iskandirova showed the family look in a sporting style. Images for moms and daughters turned out bright and comfortable. The organizers will send the funds raised from sales to the children in need, as well as the Medical Rehabilitation Center for Children with Disabilities, Joly. The creators of the project plan to hold it once every 2 to 3 months. Want to be known as a person with a good taste? Get an interior doll. This kind of art today is at the peak of popularity. Decorating homes with exclusive toys is fashionable all over the world. These are real art objects that add character and uniqueness to the interior. And to create such a work of art, the master must be a designer, an artist, and an artisan at the same time. A lot of techniques are needed in order to make this doll. In order to make her shoes, you need to know the knowledge of the shoemaker. In order to make a hat, you need to find out how it is done by a hat master. You need to be able to sew clothes. You need to know the anatomy perfectly to make your face without any blemishes so that it looks like a face. You need to be able to sculpt. To have a fine motor skills, you need to be able to sew. You need to be able to make a composition in order to make it look decent. For the master puppeteer, there is nothing worse than copying someone's work. Each doll should be unique. In addition, it is important to create an ideal in all respects, the object. Each product, experts evaluate literally under a magnifying glass. Any uneven stitch can significantly reduce the value of the work. When the work is evaluated and when we look at it, then we must necessarily see how smoothly and clearly the suit is made, how much it corresponds to the era, if this work is historical, how much the costume is made clean. I can sew and I know how these seams are sewn. And if I see some kind of flaw, the work loses at once some kind of its specialty. The complexity and painstakingness of such work, the exclusivity of the finished product, and also the materials affect the price. Sometimes it can consist of 7 digits. For example, at the exhibition of an interior doll in Kazakhstan, the products of the Russian craftsman Alyona Abramova were presented, which just creates such masterpieces. She has been doing dolls for a long time and mostly makes dolls from the smallest ones, and the tallest doll is 170 centimeters. Each of her dolls costs 3.5 million. Such people are represented here, and this is not the limit. In her costume, gold embroidery, gold threads, precious stones interspersed with this outfit. There are agates and rubies. Many of these dolls could become not only an ornament for the house, but also for the podium, because the costume is given an equally important role. If the author wants to pass the story through his work, then he will have to become an expert in this matter. For example, as a domestic craftsman, Marina Kurmanova. Before making this doll, the history of the Kazakh costume was studied. The face was studied in great detail. Because the plastic of the Kazakh girl, the plastic of her hands, the girl is performing in a dance. That is, she danced, it was very important. There was a lot of material for this time. And of course, a national costume. Of course, it is modernized, but it consists of the details that came to us from ancient times from the Kazakh people. The most important thing is that the interior doll has its own character. Therefore, it is important to carefully consider what part of your house it will decorate. It's hard to call such a doll a thing. She's picking up her own outfit. I often, when I start to sculpt, I do not even know what the final result will be. That is, she makes herself. You just help. In the house of a true connoisseur, a handmade doll takes on a special meaning. She becomes a talisman for her owner and also demonstrates his sense of style.